Hi everyone, it's Pete here and welcome to the second part of my build of the Tamiya E Man TGS truck, which is on the TT-01 Type E chassis. In the first part I built the chassis, and in this part I'm going to complete the body and take it for a little test drive. So in the box you get two big Lexan mouldings. You get this main chassis part and then you get the cab, which also contains the bumper. Now it's worth saying this is probably the toughest Lexan I've come across in a Tamiya kit, or possibly any kit, and I was using the proper Lexan scissors and everything. Did try a bit of the score and snap thing, I wasn't very good at that, but eventually I came up with these parts, which are the main cab part, and then there's the back of the cab, you've got the bumper and the main chassis part, and there's a little plate that goes on the back of the chassis. So with the main cab part they give you the window masks, and I masked off a little bit at the front there where it's got to be black. Then I did the blue and a layer of silver. Then I took off the little mask at the front there and then painted it black behind that, so that area was black, as was the rest of the inside of the cab. And then I needed the inside of these fairings to be blue again, so I put a layer of silver and a layer of blue on them. So it's time to take off the overspray film to see how it looks. That was pretty good to me. So then it's on to the main chassis piece. So I masked off all the bits that are going to be blue, painted the middle bit black, and then took the masking off and painted the rest blue. Put silver behind that and then black over that, so the whole underside is now black. So there's a few masking errors and a bit of paint come through where it shouldn't have done, but overall not too bad. The bumper on the back of the cab I did blue, then silver, then black. Some slightly rough cutting out here, but you know, I think I can live with it. Now when I came to look at the stickers I realised they'd given you these stickers to help with the transition between the black and the blue, but because I'd put the masking slightly in the wrong place they didn't actually help me. Okay, so this is pretty much finished. I've done all the stickers I think. There might have been a couple of tiny ones that I missed. There's a couple of amusing ones. That says Dinkle. That says ass. So what I've done with the back of the truck here, I've used the double-sided tape like they said, and then I've put sort of extra Gorilla Tape inside here just to sort of make doubly sure. So I put the holes in there for the wing mirrors, put a bit of tape behind that because it's a little bit thin there despite the Lexan being very thick on this kit. So that is the main body part. So bumper, quite straightforward. So on this I've sort of managed to cover up my little mistakes with various bits of tape and paint and whatnot. So it was all around there. I've put a sticker over, there was a bit of black come through there and mistakes there. So other than that it's come out pretty well I think. So I'll put some Gorilla Tape underneath just to strengthen like the body post holes and sort of under the wheel arches. Okay, so I put the mirrors on now, and I'm just starting to wonder if, as this is a runner, I might have been better to sort of leave these off, because there's always the danger they're going to sort of get broken off when that goes over, which it's bound to at some point. They're only that sort of breakable plastic. So I'll put some strengthening on the inside here, put an extra bit of Lexan on there and some Gorilla Tape underneath that. Hopefully that'll stop it pulling a hole in the body if it does get torn off. So I think really if that goes over, that's very likely to snap, but we'll see how that goes in practice. Okay, so I've stuck all the bits together and I've ended up with this. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? So I would say it was pretty difficult this actually to get all the bits together right. Notice there are these gaps at the front, and I thought that was wrong, but I was looking at real trucks and they do have these gaps. I think it's because the cab sort of hinges forward to get to the engine underneath. So that's about as good as I could get that. It's okay I think. I mean those match up there, so there's a bit of a gap there. So it was very difficult to cut this Lexan in the first place because it's really quite thick stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's come out. So this double-sided tape they give you is very sticky indeed, and so as soon as it touches it will grab, so it was quite awkward to get the cab onto here and then to sort of get the bumper on the front there and get it all sort of lined up straight, and say I think that's about as good as I can get it. One thing I would say is that I'm always trying to get a body that's entirely opaque, and you can hold quite a strong light behind it and not see the light through, but you do need quite a bit of paint to achieve it. So as I was saying, there's the sort of initial blue coat and then silver to make the colour
bright, because if you put black directly behind that, it might darken it down a bit. So then you've got black behind that, and say these little fairings, there was the initial blue, then the silver, then the black, and then to make these bits blue again, put silver, then blue on those bits. And then you've got your flat clear over this bit, so that's another paint you need, and obviously the smoke for the windows, although you get a few cars out of that. But yeah, so it is quite a lot of paint, but I think it's worth doing it on these ones because they are scale models rather than just sort of bashers, you know, so it is supposed to look like a real truck, and real trucks aren't see-through. And another thing is, if you're sort of strengthening the body with the tape underneath and whatnot, and you've only got a thin amount of paint, you'll see the tape through the top, but say because there's many layers of paint, you can't see that through. So one thing I've noticed is because there's quite a bit of weight up the front here, I wonder if that's going to sort of bounce up and down on the car, because there's a bit of a sort of weak point there, so I don't know whether it's possible to sort of strengthen it up at all. I've seen somebody do sort of poles down there to sort of attach the two pieces, which might be a good idea, but I'll see how it is in practice. When I was cutting these body panels out, I didn't do any extra sanding of the edges. I'm all sort of worried that I'm going to lift the overspray film and then you get the wrong paint on the outside, which would be a bad thing. So what we've got is just how I cut it out with the scissors. You could probably get a nicer edge if you did sand it, but that's what I've done. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Just needs to go on the chassis now.
Okay, so there it is finished, and I reckon it looks really good. All that needs to be done now is to take it for a little test drive. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty speedy with that brushless setting. The AW grease I put in the diff certainly seems to make this drift. Now I don't want this video to go on too long, so I'm going to do a separate run video of this. Run video, I'm going to talk about how it goes with the kit wheels and tyres, how it goes with drift tyres, how it goes with rally block tyres, seeing how it gets on in a crash, how it gets on with a bit of light off-roading, and I'm going to do a little speed test. Until then, thank you ever so much for watching, like and comment and all that, and I'll see you next time.